Hi guys. I'm back home. Feels pretty good to be back home. I've spent the whole morning though, not the whole morning, but up until now pretty much since I got up, um, kind of rearranging things and trying to get things organized. It wasn't like I felt I had to do it, but there was this impulse to sort of clear the decks. Clear the decks. And speaking of clearing the decks, I'm going to be using decks that I have either in many duplicates or that I'm just ready to let go of for whatever reason. And I'll list the deck below in the description box, the one I'm using, and you can, if you're interested in it, in purchasing it at a cut rate. They're hardly used, these ones. And I just figure I ought to unload them. So that's a way to, if you want to give me a tip and get a deck in return, for you, a real deal. Okay. And yeah, I was inspired by my daughter, who has a very different aesthetic than I do, to simplify, because, she's half my age, and so she has much less stuff. I've inherited, from my parents, all their stuff. Not all of it, but splitting it with my siblings, but there was just a phenomenal amount of stuff, and some of it's so dear to me. So, and I live in a tiny house, and it's jammed, and I got to just start clearing the decks, and I can't leave them to my daughter because she's got this clean sort of IKEA aesthetic. She and her husband, and I get it, they don't want to be laden with the family history. For some reason, I did and do. I feel like I'm a sort of, the ancestors matter to me. And of course, they're not there in their, well, for instance, this is a wing off a mirror that belonged to my grandmother. And it got in terrible disrepair. And this was one of the things that popped off. And I don't know, that's the kind of stuff, it's sort of my strength and my weakness. Every surface pretty much is an altar of a kind. And it's not the Zen clear altar. It's like the Hindu, every god, the incense burn, in the jammed in the dashboard of the taxi cab in Mumbai. That's sort of, I wish I were more Zen. I'm Zen in my head, in my practice in certain ways, but I'm just eclectic and it's kind of pantheism. I see God everywhere. How am I supposed to let go? This is the thing behind me, the lady on the wall. I've known them, most of them, since childhood. So they carry this resonance of memory, which of course can get to be burdensome. So I'm sort of trying to see what I can let go of. And for the things I really need to hang on to, what's the essential sweetness or life in these objects? And can I release it from the object? Don't know, we'll find out. 2 quotes this morning. One is Carl Jung, sort of daddy of the collective unconscious, framed that for the Western world as a successor to Freud, and a very different take than Freud, although Freud had divided the self into the superego, the ego, and the id. I don't understand them in any nuanced way, really, but the id being sort of the impulse drive to the fight or flight kind of element, the lower chakra elements. Not important, but a kind of almost childlike energy that wants what it wants, operates on hunger, those basic instincts. And the superego, I don't know, I'll have to study up on that. It's the thing above, it's the higher self, I'd venture to say. And the ego is sort of the self, as I understand it, the self that shows up in the world. It's our conscious self, it's our personal self, whereas superego is kind of the collective self. So here's the quote. The ego must be able to listen attentively and to give itself without further design or purpose to that inner urge toward growth. Ego only in its sort of twisted sense is insurmountable pride or, me first and that kind of thing. That's a misreading of it. In this way, if the ego, that personal self, that idea of oneself, and the idea that you present to the world on the basis of the narrative you've sort of constructed, if that goes in the service of growth, as this quote says, without further design or purpose to that inner urge toward growth. So ego is the expressing externally, but in service of the inner urge, that inner urge toward growth, which is sort of one's energy. So for starters, let me take a little wee sip, wet my whistle. I'm starting off just with traditional Rider-Waite. I have about 4 or 5 of these decks, and I love them. I use them a lot. They're useful to me in duplicate because as clarifiers, if the same card in the same deck shows up, it seems to me kind of a double affirmation. And that's what I have here today. These are sort of the mid-size and the mini Rider-Waite decks. The inner urge toward growth. Death card. Death card. Yeah, this is Major Arcana transformation. In that Jungian sense of the collective unconscious, this is the energy of death and rebirth. And it might be ego death. It often is. And ego death doesn't mean the obliteration of the ego. We need the ego. It's what walks us around. It's what says, howdy do, my name is Flan Flan. It's those identifiers. And they're not limiting in and of themselves, except if you say, I'm 67, I live a modest life, I'm not a big success in the capitalist sense. I think I can build something that can support me in that regard. But all of that is sort of up for grabs at this point. That's what happens. This is a card of Scorpio, card of transformation. And perhaps, in that sense of, here we go, main energy here. Yeah, the main energy here. I saw the bottom of the deck, so I need to take it. 3 of Swords. It would be great to transform this. This is a card of hurt and separation. Some sort of contention, perhaps in different perceptions of the world between you and somebody else, that kind of was a deal breaker. Your beliefs and their beliefs did not jibe, and caused hurt for that reason. There was an exchange of words. There was a clash of beliefs. And it created fissure. But we're transforming it somehow, transmuting it, like I wouldn't be surprised if magician showed up, because that's the alchemist. That's somebody who transmutes energy, from the base to the precious. From the base to the precious. A sword energy, something that lingers in memory, to do with beliefs or spoken words, perhaps. This is not the base. This is the precious. Card of Leo. The sun. We're just closing out Leo season, like in a couple of days. And, it's the kind of height of summer energy. And I see here in this depiction right away, there's the little baby riding the horse. It could have to do in that connotation with past life, or just with the birth of something new, something fresh. We have a card in that sense of death and rebirth. The dark and the light. The transformation that ends something. For the better. It's always in service of growth. The transformation, and it's okay to be happy. You can still be honest and sort of honor the hurt, but you don't need to let it kind of pin your brain, fix it in a certain place where the most important thing is the hurt dealt you, or that you were involved in, maybe that you dealt somebody else, in a 3D way. Because the major arcana cards, the ones that completely override that energy, this is how it expressed in life. And I say expressed because to me this is a card of memory, the lingering imprint in the brain. This is what happened on the level of the psyche. When it's in service of growth, there's a death and rebirth. Brighter days, illumination, revelation. It's also a card of ego, in the best sense of the word. If that revealed part of yourself in alignment with growth. It's the light of the world. It's without this, there is no growth. There is no transformation, really. So tell me about this sword energy, Three of Swords. It seems to me it's gone, It's in the process, anyway, of transforming. It's in the process of transforming. This is a card of anxiety, of disbelief. In that same sword energy, what have I done? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. How did this happen? What happened? It's all the questions, sword energy. Information that somebody's lacking, because their brain is giving them 9 whacks. not allowing them to settle, not allowing them to rest, whoever this character is, perhaps an air sign, who's really stressed out about this Three of Swords situation. There's no indifference here. You know, they're stuck thinking about it. Sword energy. Okay. And this is what popped out. Okay, let's do the major arcana first, which is the High Priestess. Card of Cancer and Libra. The Libra being sort of represented here in the black and the white. The portal of apparent opposites that she sits right between in a very balanced way. Libra energy. But whereas Libra, is the card of justice in major arcana, it's to do with mental energy, with sword energy. Like those challenging ones, Three of Swords, Nine of Swords that we saw. This is a card of intuition, not of analytical, objective, clear energy. This is actually, it's not unclear. It can be something that's a mystery. It can be something that was a secret. For some reason, it's a card of, it can be of keeping one's counsel, not talking about it, knowing, not talking. Being able to see, what's what, but not trying to explain it to anybody, and that sword energy, blah, 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 speech and analytical thinking and sort of syntax. Divine Feminine, the phases of the moon, cyclical energy. The card, it's the energy that listens with those big scoop ears in the shape of the crescent moon as the moon receives the sun. We have divine masculine and feminine, as they're sometimes interpreted. The moon, the sun is sort of what's revealed, and the moon is the card of the mystery. That's sort of the trifecta. This triple energy of death, High Priestess, Sun. I think that's kind of amazing. And the minor arcana now that we have on the board is this Three of Swords, Eight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. Here's the hurt that's still lingering in the brain. Here's somebody doing the work, perhaps of healing the hurt, so that they can come in as a Knight of Cups, as a messenger, an affectionate, loving message. And that might have been what they were working on. It's also, I suppose, equally possible that their work somehow distracted them from making this offer. They were too busy. They were busy not with emotional things, not with the energy of giving feelings. They were in Pentacles energy. They were at work. They were at hard work, perhaps making money. And that created a loss of some kind. But frankly, I think they're working on healing and addressing this. They're not quite at this stage yet. They're still in kind of preparation stage. And Pentacles indicate a long time. It's taken somebody a long time to begin this journey forward. And Cups is, coming in with a love offer, but not super fast. In the flow. The feelings are starting to mature and be on the move. Tell us about the transformation, please. Okay. Now somehow, as I sometimes do, I shuffled this into the deck. And it popped out again. It's like, no, you don't. And that's sort of Nine of Swords energy. You want to get rest? You think your brain is going to let you off the hook? No, you don't. Here I am again, night after night, thought after thought. It's a card of fear and anxiety. What have I done? Why did I do it? You know, and this again is in Cups energy. And that's why I think this person is in high anxiety. Because they know Sword energy. They left somebody in, I think this is the other person, in a, they hurt him. They left him alone. They took their love away. And they know it. So now, you know, is this effort to work on being able to make that offer. And as I said that, make the offer, and Pentacles are a card of making. This guy's crafting it right here. He's a craftsman. He's mastering the craft. And he's taken a long time doing it. He, she, they. And they're worried because it's been a long time that they've kind of spilled the cups. They hurt somebody. And they hurt themselves. And it's made them feel afraid. Okay. Ace of Pentacles. This is the opportunity for growth. I mean, and as an ace, it can speak to the self. This person, this Eight of Pentacles person, has been working and working. And I like this odd numerology. It's not even really numerology, it's just looking at the cards in a certain way. Eight of Pentacles plus 1 is Nine of Pentacles. That's the card of independence. You know, that's the card also of Pentacles are about making things real. And in part, what I'm getting off of this is what they're making real is a realization where Swords and Pentacles meet. It's an odd expression, realization. Wow, epiphany. But it allows for, like the Magician card, the thing to come through into 3D through work and effort. And I think this is somebody who perhaps has been afraid of being single. You know, that Nine of Pentacles, the card of single. Nine of Swords, Nine of Pentacles. But they're grounding themselves. They're grounding themselves. And their work and effort has created this portal. And I'm seeing the pentacle is like, you know, you offer the coin. You've earned the right. I think this Pentacles person has perhaps an earth sign. You've earned the right for this new opportunity with all your hard work. And it starts with being secure in yourself, in themselves, in their selves. So, you know, oh, and the last card, and these consecutive numbers, Eight of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, the result of the hard work. It bears fruit, you know. You've put in effort, somebody has, and it's borne fruit. It's harvest time. And it might be also the raw material you've grown You've grown. I mean, somebody's grown up, transformed. They've grown, and now they have the raw materials to begin this process of manifesting. This is sort of a minor arcana card of manifestation because you're making it real, Pentacles. And it's a realization. And this is kind of the brass ring. It gains you admittance through this portal. So let's see, what's the portal? What's the portal, please, Spirit? I'm not taking, well, I should take that because I saw it. Lovely. One more. Wunderbar. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. It's like, yay! That's one of the things my granddaughter does on a regular basis, like when she gets excited. So, this was the one I saw on the bottom and thought, I need to take that. This is a card of holding back. You know, it can be hanging on to your resources. Somebody is, this Pentacles person, I think, held back. Perhaps because they were afraid and anxious about perhaps even making it real. They might have been afraid of losing money. You know, somebody, I mean, there's so many pentacles here, and this idea of the earning the opportunity. Somebody was afraid of losing, but I think they, on the other side, you know, there was this death, major transformation. They're realizing, I can make more. You know, it's not like a limited, you know, the universe is ultimately abundant. We might get in the way, we might dam it up, but the abundance that is inherent in this wash we swim in is accessible to us. You know, we're involved in it on a 3D level. We ourselves are manifestors of abundance, or this Pentacles person is. Because have they, all right, shush. The other card that came out, there were two more. This was the other minor arcana. 3 of Pentacles. From holding back to cooperation. And something may have been underway, you know, this cooperative effort to build something together. And then suddenly somebody pumped the brakes. You know, I'm afraid. It's a constricting energy, like 9 of Swords. Up in the head, how will this play out? I'm worried about it. Then 3 major arcana, which is what we had on top here. Sun, High Priestess, Death. Now we have Star came out first. Card of Aquarius. A card of the blessing, the healing. And another kind of balance. You know, taking from this source energy well, which is ultimately replenishable. That idea that the universe is infinitely abundant. You know, it's never exhausted. And she's appears to be pouring into both the source energy and, you know, land. Nurturing growth. And it reminds me also of all those cards of balance. Temperance, Libra, Justice card, the Sag card of Temperance, Major Arcana. This is being guided to the place you belong, source energy, following your guides to the healing place. On the basis of this enlightenment gained in the still time, in this sort of yogic posture of surrender. Surrender. Get the epiphany about how to heal. And again, I wasn't really paying attention when I was saying balance, but this is a card of Cancer, of balanced emotions, internally and with somebody else, in Cups energy, that energy of connection. Also Hangman, Scorpio. Pisces. And the sign is, it's not irrelevant, but it's just one strata. Don't think that this only applies to people who are astrologically Pisces. Because your sun sign is just one aspect. Just one aspect. So we have 2 Cups energies, the flow, the connection, the feelings. 2 fire energies, Sun, card of Leo, and that's it. I guess I was looking at this and thinking how this appears like a sun. The seed that holds within it the potential for growth. It's an opportunity for that. Take it. Take it. And we can really stop here because this is Wheel of Fortune. To me, similar energies. Surrendering to your karmic destiny, getting the epiphany after this ripening period, this chrysalis stage, surrendering to the forward movement that, that cosmic abundance has in mind for you. And if you've been in a stuck place, in a place of feeling lack in these Pentacles energies, you're recouping. There's a change of fortune. Again, conceivably just coming into a great abundance. All these Pentacles. It will move you into a better place, whatever it is. A transformation of growth, and perhaps of both the intuitive sense of you, your sort of spidey sense, and your ability to bring it into revelation, incorporating it into the best version of ego, which is in service of growth. And growth is all over this reading in Pentacles energy. Everyday life, nurturing it, growing it, fulfilling its potential. That Ace of Pentacles. Forward movement in Cups energy, getting the feelings aligned so that you can advance in your psyche and with somebody else and move forward fast. Your psyche's like in high gear to the healing place. This Aquarian energy of, it's the blessing. You're aligning with the blessing. You're aligning with your own happiness. with your masculine and feminine energies, Sun, High Priestess, in balance. Booma. Booma. We have on the board Pisces, Aquarius, Pisces and Hangman, Aquarius in the Star, Cancer and Chariot, Leo in the Sun, Cancer again, and Libra in High Priestess, Scorpio in Death, all the fixed signs in Wheel. Great advancement, great motion, forward movement, Chariot, and even the Death card, forward movement. Like a taking down of the old ways. Bless your hearts. I'll see you next time. Good to be home. Oh yeah, and I just was going to read on closing, and let me do that because I thought it was a great quote. Particularly in relation to that ego quote we started out with. The thing, of course, is to make yourself alive. Most people remain all their lives in a stupor. The point of being an artist, which is all of us, creator in our own right, is that you may live. It is to save yourself. It's all about waking up. Stupor is an attempt at protecting yourself from being there. We're waking up. We're waking up.